Hey guys, it's Joy. Today I'm going to show you what I have in my second graders' work boxes. We've used these for the whole year and it's worked really well for us. And so I'm just going to give you a peek into what's in each box. So, sorry it's going to get a little wiggly here. Okay, so on top I just have math, and I just have, we use Matthew C. I just have his workbook. There's like an activity book, and then I have flashcards in here for him for review. He just pretty much does the workbook and the flashcards every day, and then I have the teacher manual actually over on my shelf over there, so I don't keep the teacher manual in his workbox. And then also this workbox is very flimsy, I would say. It holds a workbook just fine, but if you get more than that in there, it gets really, like, it can crack over here on the sides and it just doesn't work as well. So I try not to keep too many heavy books in here. Then we have our English grammar, which we use Logic of English and we love it. Here's what the book looks like. And Foundations D, I mean, every kid is different, so I'm actually not exactly sure what we're going to use next year. I think then it moves into their Essentials program. I'm not 100% sure on that. So I need to look at that and see what comes after Foundations D here. So it's a new program, and it's been amazing. They have lots of fun games for boys, lots of hands-on stuff. I do keep the teacher's guide in there and then the student workbook underneath. And I have to be very careful putting that drawer in and taking it out, just because it's too heavy for the drawer, really. And then there's lots of cards, phonogram cards and game cards, and you just usually need a highlighter and lots of stuff with the Logic of English program. So that's why I have two drawers for that. And we have kind of off and on used the spelling. There is spelling in Logic of English, but my second grader just is kind of coming around to where he's paying attention to what words are, how they're spelled as he's reading and things like that. But there for a while I was a little worried because he couldn't even remember how to spell simple words. And so I was like, oh dear. So we added this in. And this is a great one for summer, just to kind of keep them, refreshed. So we haven't worked on this all of the time. It's just been like a supplemental thing for us, since our spelling is... See, that's what happens to these drawers sometimes. You have to kind of pop them back into place. But I do love it, even though it's a little flimsy. So anyways, we have just used that as a supplemental thing throughout the year. Copy work, we're actually right now working on, he really wanted to learn cursive this year, so I thought we would just start with learning our letters, of course, and this is the book we used. We do Classical Conversations, and they recommend these prescripts books because they go along with kind of the history that Classical Conversations uses. And so this is a really cool book, actually. I love it. They practice like their J up here, and then, they'll have a picture to color. And this is like from Ivan the Great, Tearing the Khan's Letter to Pieces, it says. Or they'll have like a drawing, things like that. So that's been kind of fun to use. So prescripts. And then I've just randomly throughout the year had different copy work for him. So that's what we did for our copy work this year. And there's also some copy work in our Logic of English as well. Some dictation and copy work, that kind of thing. For reading, I would just every once in a while, honestly, we didn't do a reading in our schoolroom down here, so I made a reading a drawer just because I thought it would be nice to stick like a reader in so he could grab that as he went upstairs. I found out that it was just too hard. I kept our reading books upstairs. So I would have like a reader in there for him to do in the afternoon. Then we move down here to history. Sorry. Wobbly. History and geography, science, Spanish, Latin, and art and music. We didn't do these each and every day. We did like one day a week. So it was nice to have these together. We did this blob mapping. It's also a part of the Classical Conversations. Well, it's not really a part of their curriculum per se, but it's created by one of the gals who does it, and it's just a great way to kind of teach them how to draw the world that kind of thing. So anyways, we did blob mapping, and then we had, oh, that's more maps. And then I actually had this map skills book that I got at a secondhand store. It was really fun for just, I don't know, something different to do. And they made maps and things in there. So that was our history and geography. And I would put in there, well, I guess that was just geography. I would put in there like a history sentence sometimes, and it would also coincide with copy work. And so I just kind of did different things for history. We didn't always put things in that bin. And then for science, well, right now I just have some of our periodic, we learned the periodic table of elements, just the first 12 elements in our classical conversations this year. So these are just flashcards from that. So I don't really have anything else in there. Then our Spanish and Latin, he had his Spanish folder. He actually goes to a Spanish class. And then we were going to do this Latin book that's also recommended and sold at like CC practicums and things. Song School Latin, but we did not incorporate that this year. Couldn't fit that in. And then I do have more flashcards and things like that. I just leave them, like I made them this year and then I just left them in here. And so, you know, like one side's Latin and one side's English. So I just left them in there for review and things like that. So I knew where they were and I could quick grab them. And then same for art and music. We actually made our kids a folder like this for when we do the tin whistle for classical conversations. And so I kept that in here, and it has all the songs and things that they learned. And then I put extra songs that I found, and then also just like a sketchbook, actually 2 extra sketchbooks. Oh, and then some extra music stuff. So it's just nice to have a bin where you can keep all of the things that you want to keep organized and to kind of remind yourself. So when you look in the drawer, you're like, oh yeah, they could do this or whatever. So anyways, I really enjoy using the workbook system or workbox system. It's worked really well for us, and it's been very organizational, and the kids know where everything is, and putting it back is always a different story than getting out, but it is a great way to practice that as well. So yeah, I really like the workbox system, and if you are looking at doing it, these carts work really great, but just remember they don't hold a lot of heavy books. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.